Her mission, really, is to show you how this single word, peripatetic, it sort of ties together ancient thinking and very modern, dynamic ways of living.
Yeah, hopefully giving you some powerful insights, but, quickly and clearly.
You should feel like you've really grasped it by the end.
Okay, let's dive in then. So the journey starts, as you said, thousands of years ago, ancient Greece.
Yep.
And with a philosopher you've almost certainly heard of, Aristotle. He set up his school, the Lyceum, around 335 BCE.
The pretty famous spot.
Definitely. And the word peripatetic, it comes straight from Greek, peripatene.
Yeah.
It means to walk up and down or just to walk about.
Okay, so it's literal.
Totally literal. That's apparently how Aristotle taught. He'd walk around discussing philosophy with students. They even had a specific place for it in the Lyceum, a covered walkway called the peripatos.
Right, the peripatos. So it could mean the walk or the place.
Exactly.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is that this ancient way of doing things, it's not just some dusty historical fact.
No, how so?
Well, it really connects to some powerful modern ideas about learning, like embodied learning.
Embodied learning, meaning learning with your whole body, not just your head.
Precisely. Using your senses, interacting with the world around you. It's also super close to situated learning,
Okay.
which is all about active participation, collaboration, learning within an environment, not separate from it.
So like group projects, discussions.
Yeah, exactly. Think collaborative learning, project-based learning, PBL. It all stems from these kinds of active, engaged ideas.
Do we have examples?
Yeah, our sources mention things like high school chemistry students learning about forces by actually feeling liquids evaporate on their hands.
Oh, cool.
Or middle schoolers studying how ants communicate by, getting out there and watching ant trails. It's that direct, active engagement. Very Aristotelian in a way.
It sounds like his school, the Lyceum, was also pretty accessible for its time.
In some ways, yes.
I mean, free lectures, open to the public, no set curriculum, no fees. That sounds quite different.
It really does, especially when you compare it to Plato's Academy, which was more structured, more formal.
Right. That flexibility must have been appealing.
Absolutely. Though it's worth noting an interesting difference. Aristotle's Lyceum, it didn't admit women students.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whereas Plato's Academy, which came earlier, actually did have a couple of women scholars. So different approaches there, too.
Huh. Interesting contrast. Okay, so let's jump forward, way forward.
So the present day.
Yes, and here, peripatetic takes on this, different flavor. Still connected, maybe, but different.
How so?
We looked at this personal blog from 2015. It's called Exposed Truth of One Peripatetic from Here to Sunday.
Okay.
And the blogger, she talks about trying to find a word for her lifestyle. She wanted to work online remotely.
Right, the digital nomad thing.
Kinda, yeah. But live everywhere and anywhere. And she looked up vagabond, but found it strictly means someone without a home or a job.
Which wasn't her.
Not at all. She had a career. But when she described the idea to her mom's reaction was basically, "Isn't that a homeless person?"
Ouch. Yeah, that's a common misconception, I think.
Totally. But then she found peripatetic, and it clicked. The definition fit. Traveling from place to place, especially working or based in various places for relatively short periods.
Perfect.
Well, almost perfect. Her mom's next reaction, and this is a quote, was, "It sounds like pathetic."
Oh, wow. Tough crap.
Right. And she got other criticism, too. Like, why? What's the point? Shouldn't you be thinking about marriage and kids? Or just, I could never do that.
The usual stuff people say when faced with unconventional choices.
Exactly. And this idea that people who wander are somehow lost. But she pushes back hard on that. She says basically, look, I'm not lost. I have a career. Travel is my hobby. And it just became my lifestyle. It feels like a calling to explore.
Good for her. And this really brings up the question of what you actually gain from living like that. It's not just aimless, right?
Definitely not, according to her.
Our source highlights some real benefits. It's naturally mind-opening, for one. It just keeps your curiosity constantly fed.
Makes sense. New places, new people.
Endless chances to see how other people live.
Yeah.
Try new lifestyles yourself. Plus, it encourages a kind of minimalism. You can't drag tons of stuff around.
True.
And there's constant inspiration, meeting people from all walks of life, and this interesting forced advantage.
Forced advantage.
Yeah, because your time in any one place is limited, you're sort of pushed to make the most of it. You don't put things off.
I see. Like her example about Muir Woods.
Exactly. She lived near San Francisco for 7 years and never hiked Muir Woods, the famous redwood forest.
Wow.
Only when she started living this temporary peripatetic life Did she realize she had to seize those opportunities? That temporary status makes you act.
That's a great point. And she really committed to it, didn't she? Moving almost every month for over a year.
Yeah, checking off cities, San Francisco, Chicago, Austin, Denver.
Planning for Honolulu, Charleston. Wow.
And the goal wasn't just random wandering. It was partly to figure out where she might actually want to, settle down eventually.
Smart. And she mentions that roommate in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, the Craigslist roommate from Wicker Park. Inspiring story there.
Tell us.
Well, this roommate apparently moved to Kathmandu for self-guided meditation
Oh.
and was last heard of in Asheville, still following her own path, her own dream.
Amazing. It really reinforces that, quote, the blogger lives by.
Which one?
It's a big world out there. It would be a shame not to experience it.
Yeah, that sums up that perspective pretty well.
Yeah.
But, peripatetic isn't just about personal lifestyle choices. It actually pops up in, formal professional context, too, which shows its versatility.
Really? Like what?
Well, we found this job description for a peripatetic musical theater singing teacher.
Okay, that's specific. Where was this?
For Arts Ed, which is a performing arts school over in the UK. And the job literally requires the teacher to travel around.
To different locations.
Yeah, from place to place, giving one-on-one singing lessons, coaching students for specific qualifications, BTECs, they call them.
Right, vocational qualifications.
Exactly. Helping with auditions for college, keeping records, all while being mobile.
So you need teaching skills, obviously, but also, what else?
Well, the description mentions outstanding teaching, naturally, but also good keyboard skills, deep knowledge of musical theater songs, and a real commitment to safeguarding kids. It's a proper professional role, just a mobile one.
That's fascinating. A truly peripatetic professional. So if we zoom out even further, does this connect to the broader idea of, nomads?
It does, yeah. Wikipedia talks about different types of nomadism. And peripatetic nomads are actually one specific category.
Okay, how are they defined?
They're described as itinerant groups, people who move between settled, often densely populated areas to offer specialized skills or services, like crafts or specific trades.
So they're not just wandering, they're providing something needed by the settled communities they visit.
Exactly. It differentiates them from, say, hunter-gatherers following animal herds or wild plants.
Right.
Or pastoral nomads who move their livestock around looking for pasture.
Got it. Can you give examples of these peripatetic nomads?
Sure. Sources mention groups like the Roma or the Gadia Lohar, who are traditional blacksmiths in India, also the Bukat people of Borneo.
What did the Bukat trade?
Things like resins, honey, beeswax, other forest and animal products, stuff they gathered and then traded with settled farming communities.
It's interesting how these groups fit into the wider economy, but how are nomads generally viewed by settled societies?
Well, historically, and sometimes still today, the perception isn't always positive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You see terms like shiftless, gypsies, rootless cosmopolitans, sometimes aimless wanderers. We should be clear, we're just reporting these terms as they appear in the sources, not endorsing them at all.
Right, just noting the historical perception.
Exactly. It's often been a negative stereotype. On the flip side, though, there's a concept called nomadology.
Nomadology.
Yeah, it's more of a philosophical take that actually views nomadism positively. It emphasizes things like movement, freedom, challenging fixed structures.
Ah, okay. A different lens.
But the historical reality for many nomadic groups has been difficult. There's been a big trend towards sedentarization.
Meaning being forced to settle down.
Pretty much, yeah. Often due to government policies or maybe shrinking resources like pasture land. Think about some Bedouin groups or what happened in parts of Central Asia after the Soviet era. Many nomadic ways of life have been pushed into permanent settlements.
Wow. So quite a journey for this one word, peripatetic. We started with Aristotle literally walking and talking philosophy in his Lyceum. Then jumped centuries ahead to modern folks choosing a mobile life, working remotely while exploring cities.
Like the blogger. Yeah.
We saw it applied to specific traveling professionals like that music teacher.
Right, the singing teacher.
And even looked at these ancient groups, the peripatetic nomads, offering their unique skills as they moved.
It really does show how one single word can capture both this deep intellectual curiosity, that sort of mental wandering, and also a very real physical journey through the world.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maybe being peripatetic isn't just about moving your feet or having a specific kind of job.
What do you mean?
Maybe it's more on a mindset, you know? a constant state of learning, adapting, a desire to really engage with what's around you, whether you're strolling through an ancient Greek lyceum, hopping between cities every month, or, heck, just taking your own ideas for a walk.